Hey folks, welcome back to I Like to Think I'm Interesting. Okay, so just funny story here. I have switched podcasting platforms. I used to do Audacity, but I'm trying Riverside because Audacity wasn't responding. I really, really want to finish recording this today, but it feels like every single time I have been thwarted. So I'm going to try really hard to get this to happen. Um, but this one wouldn't let me continue recording from where I left off. It was kept being like, "Where's your mic? Where's your mic?" And it's just like, "Oh my god." So I said, something that I've been saying in these last few recordings has been um oh my goodness. I really, really, what have I been saying in the last few recordings? I have been saying I really want to record it, and I really want to. I want to say thanks again, everybody, for coming back to the podcast. I, it's just making me feel good that people, I don't know, that friends and family and people that I know have been listening, and it's nice to see to know that. And also I'm just trying to get my confidence back in making art again and doing things again. So I'm trying to commit to doing this once a week, which is tough. I've been doing this for so long that I'm yawning. But this software is so much more advanced than I'm used to, so we'll just have to see. Everything's AI now, and everything's they're summarizing what it is that I'm saying, which is a little creepy. Yeah, so okay. Here is another episode of I Am Interesting. I already have some folks who have said they want to be on the podcast, which is really, really cool. I'm excited for you guys to meet my friends, and some of you are my friends, probably. And then we're probably gonna talk about fun stuff that they want to talk about, and be they're interesting because of this, and so I hope that that's kind of fun. I've had fun making these. Okay. Now I'm going to finally talk about what it is that I wanted to talk about, which is imperfection. I have been working so hard for so many years to be perfect in every single thing that I do, and it's just exhausting. It really is. And I mean, I'm sure for all of you know, if you also work to be perfect all the time, and something that's really frustrating is being somebody who has trouble with executive functioning, and trying really hard to do things, and seeing that other people are doing those things better than you, and being why can't I do those things? Why am I not as productive right now? Why can't I go as fast? And it's annoying and really difficult, because I would like to do all the things that people I know are doing too, but for some reason I know the reason, but my body will be my brain will be we are very tired, we cannot do that. And that's really hard, because I am trying to find the line between, do I what is it that I need to complete this task? Should I leave this task for is this task urgent enough to leave it for another time? What can I handle in this moment? I think that is the hardest question to answer for myself all the time, is what can I handle right now? And what am I, because I don't want to be oh, I can't handle it when I can, because a lot of things because I have a hard time with a lot of things, I'll just let myself not do it, and it's really, really annoying, because I'm I want to do those things, but I feel like I can't. So anyway, we were talking before about my company, LOUZR Creative, and God, I've done so many of these. I keep yawning, you guys. I'm eepy, you know? You ever just be eepy? Anyway. Basically, I was talking a lot about imperfection and about how I've been really trying to practice being imperfect and practice the art of imperfection. And, like, because I wish that I knew how to do everything right now. And I need to accept that I don't know how to do everything right now, and that no one knows how to do everything right now, and that it takes work to understand what you are doing, and it takes, you know, being imperfect and just doing the thing. So that's what I'm trying to practice right now, is just doing the thing, even if I don't like it. Something else that I was saying before is that when I was doing my, as I've said in previous episodes, my creative production company, LOUZR Creative, I have, in the process, I have actually been so embarrassed by everything that I have posted, everything that I have completed, everything that, not even completed, it's like all the TikToks that I tried to do, what are you doing? Why are we entering power save mode? What are we doing here, sir? What are we doing? Why are we doing that? You guys, it's hard you know what? I'm not even going to edit that, because you know what? I'm happy that this is still recording, okay? This is still fucking recording. My computer decided to just like go to sleep, you know, randomly. Why are you going to sleep, sir? Why are you going to sleep? Anyway, glad that's not happening anymore. This is a finicky service, I will say. But it's okay. So we're gonna stick with it for the time being. So anyway, as I was trying to talk about and trying to actually do the podcasting, come on. I've been trying to practice. So I was really embarrassed by all of every single upload I would make, because I just thought that everything I made just wasn't good enough, because of, you know, external comments I had from, like, you know, people close to me. And, you know, I had this really mean therapist this one time, and I was trying to get back into therapy again. It just was a mess. Like, it does not serve anybody to tell somebody that they are, like, being lazy or sucking. Something that I learned about through the course of my mental health treatment is that I think that laziness, in the way that we talk about it in the world, doesn't exist. I don't care if you think it exists. I think it doesn't exist, because from what I've seen is that when people call each other lazy, it's just their way of being like, why aren't you suffering as much as me? Like, it's their way of being like, you, like, enjoying your life. You, like lazy, like, I mean, I don't know, like, the only thing that would make someone lazy is if it doesn't make them feel bad about themselves. If people call you lazy but you feel bad about not being able to do things, or you wish you could do more things but you can't, that's not laziness. That is burnout or task paralysis or all those other things. And that requires a different solution than someone looking at you and saying you suck because you're not doing something. I do not believe in looking at someone and saying they suck for whatever reason. I think that's a dumb way to go about it. You know, I knew somebody, like, who had a teacher in high school, and they were and they were doing, you know, musical theater or whatever. They were doing theater, and the teacher went up to them and was like, yeah, you can't do this, like, you're not good enough for this, like, you should just give up. I knew somebody who, a teacher, like, said that to them, said they weren't gonna make it in that industry. And I'm like, how much of a horrible person, how unhappy do you have to be with yourself to go up to a child? Like, even if they're a high schooler, this is a child. Like, if you're under 18, like, or 18, 19, like, you're a child. I'm so sorry, you're a child. Like, imagine going up to, or at least a young person who has not experienced isn't a full-grown adult and hasn't experienced as much as the world, and doesn't have autonomy, and doesn't have, you know, financial, whatever, like, like doesn't have the knowledge and growth of a full adult human. Imagine going up to a person who has just barely experienced any of the world and is trying to find a way to interact with it, and you go up and you tell them, hey, you suck, your dreams suck. Like, what a horrible, sad thing to do to someone, Like, I just think about that sometimes, and I'm just like, wow, you must be really unhappy with yourself if to make yourself feel better, you have to go up to a child, a literal child, and say something mean to them. Anybody who says mean things to children, I'm like, you don't have to like children, just don't say mean things to them. Like I do not understand the need to go up to children and say mean things to them, or to crush their dreams, or because a lot of times it's out of emotion, it's out of your emotion, that as an adult, as you have lived more than this child has, and this child is just figuring out how to navigate the world. Like, this child has been, like if you're thinking about a 16-year-old child, like, they have been alive for 16 years, literally 16 years. And sometimes, like, 40-year-old people will say this stuff to them. And it's like, you have had 40 years to do any of the things that you're mad at this kid for not doing. And you have the gall to say anything to this 16-year-old who's only been on this planet for 16 years, and you're going to tell them that you already know that they suck before they even start working on whatever it is they're supposed to be doing? How dumb. like you're looking at this 16-year-old child who's only existed for what do you expect? This child, of course, isn't going to be good, isn't going to be incredibly amazing immediately the first time they try something. They've only had 16 years to try to do something, and then most of those years they were just busy fucking around and being a kid. I'm so sorry. like people who get mad at kids for doing things, or for just get mad at kids in a big way. It's like, I'm so sorry here, but you're the adult and you have lived for so much longer and have been able to learn from your experiences and mistakes so much more than a literal child has. I'm so sorry. This is on you. Anyway, that's just my rant about children. I love children. I'm a big fan. I for a while I thought I wanted to go into childcare, but they do not pay you well, and they also do not respect you. But I also respect you as much as you need to be respected. Teachers, oh my goodness, and childcare providers, they need to be paid more, and they need to be respected more, and they need to be provided for more, because it is a hard thing. And the better our kids are doing, the better the future is, and the better people everyone is. So anyway, and end of rant about kids. I love kids, and I will pretty much always take their side in stuff with them versus adults. I just think that if a child has not been alive for as long as you've been alive, you're doing something. You're normally the one at fault, because you should have known better, not the child, who has been alive for only a fraction of a time you've been alive. Get your shit together if you're yelling at the child. That's just my 2 cents. Okay. Back to what it was that I was talking about. So you can tell that I'm a bit agitated, because I've been recording this several times, and I get a bit upset when things don't. Again, I get upset when perfection, when imperfection gets in the way. And so I'm really trying to practice imperfection. I'm trying to be you know what? I am trying not to care if somebody looks at this podcast and goes, wow, you're pathetic and terrible for making a podcast. Sometimes when people have messaged me about this podcast and have said, I listened to your podcast, and I'm I'm really afraid that when you're saying that, it means you hate it, and I really don't want to hear how much you hate it. I want to hear something nice, but also, if you don't have anything, as my mother would say, if you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say anything at all. Especially to I feel quite vulnerable. I have been feeling quite vulnerable these days because of, people not saying nice things to me. And I, I mean, as in my last episode, when you're an artist and you're sharing your heart with people, and and what makes you burn inside is sharing your heart with people. Like, it is the hardest thing to do, to take kind of not real criticism, because I can take constructive criticism, but when someone is straight up going, yeah, your stuff sucks, is like, when someone is like kind of saying that your stuff sucks, but like not fully, like they're saying things as if they know how to do things better than you, and they're not offering any constructive solution other than this is bad. Like I said on my last previous episode, like I just think that's so unhelpful. And if that's the only criticism you have, like, you need to take a good long look at yourself, and you need to deal with that yourself and not bring it to me. Anyway, I've just been really frustrated with that kind of feedback recently. And online, like, I've just been trying to like ignore like online comments completely, because I'm like, but what's also hard is that sometimes you can get just as harsh criticism from the people around you, even sometimes the people closest to you. And that's something that I've really had a hard time like reconciling with, and being like, so if I want to do this thing that makes me feel nice, I have to deal with stuff from all sides. And sharing my heart and soul with other people, I mean, being an artist means you have to share your soul with people. And it's a beautiful and magical thing, but not often, it's not often appreciated. It's not often appreciated, and it's also like, people, parasocial relation, that's evidenced by parasocial relationships, right? People think that because you share your soul with them, and your heart and your personhood, and you try to, just share, people think that they have a right to you. They think they own you. They think they know you. And it's like, in real life, if you did know me, you would not own me in this way. You would not be able to order me around or tell me what to do, like, or tell me what I should do, or what I look like, or, if you hate me, or if you think I suck, like, like, no one appreciates that online or in real life. I don't really understand internet trolls. I think I do because it makes them feel better to like go around and like say something random to somebody to put them down. Like, even people who like think that they're telling them the truth, right? Like, say like somebody who doesn't believe that trans people should exist comes over to my page and says something like, you're a whatever it is that I think you are, and you'll always be that. And it's like, if they put that on there, it's like, I wonder how that makes them feel. I wonder if that makes them happier or feel good inside to do that. Like, I wonder how they feel after they do that, because like I think maybe briefly they feel good. Maybe they're like, hey, that felt really good, to like tell them off and stick it to them. But in the end, it's like, I feel like, I've always felt like, I remember, a long time ago, like in middle school, I was bullied. I was bullied in middle school and in high school. Couldn't you tell? But I remember that one time I tried to fight back with my words as well, because most of it was really hurtful, painful words and painful actions that they would take against me. And one time I started just flinging back just like vitriol at them. And afterwards I felt a hole in my heart. Like, I know that sounds really woo-woo, but like I felt like a just a big gaping hole in my chest, where I just was like, that felt awful to do. Like, in the moment it felt like I was sticking it to them, but like it just didn't make me feel good to do that to somebody. It's never made me feel good to make someone hurt or feel bad. Like, and whenever I've sat with that feeling, I've always known that like it just isn't worth it to be a bully to others. Whether you think you're doing the right thing or not, like, if you really want to do the right thing for somebody, you need to lead with kindness. And you also need to be willing to hear if maybe you have it all wrong. Like if you think somebody's doing something wrong and you want to say something and you lead with kindness and you say something nice, you have to be willing to, listen to someone else's perspective. The weird thing I don't understand is people who leave comments, how they don't expect to, it's like they're saying something to somebody and they don't expect a response back, or they don't expect the person who they commented on to respond. And it's like the most of the time, if it's like a big creator, right, like they won't respond, but it's like you never know. Like sometimes these people who post on these bigger people's pages, and then they start posting on smaller people's pages, they don't really realize the difference and how big a difference that is. And that if you're posting on someone smaller, they're gonna see every single comment and it might hurt their feelings. And you have to think, okay, it's not just you shouting that in the middle of a crowd of 1 million people, right? It's you're shouting that in the middle of a crowd of 10 people, and your voice is loud and clear and they can read what you said above your head, and it's oh, that person can see what I said. I don't know. I guess I just don't understand how people can do that to each other. I really hope those people find true happiness who do that stuff. I know that sounds so... Whenever I say things like that, I feel like I do genuinely mean it. And I feel like people think that I don't, or that I'm doing it to placate people. But really when I say that I really wish the best for other people, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because it makes me vulnerable in a lot of ways to being pushed around by people who don't mean me well. But it does make me wish, believe in the humanity of other people. It makes me easy to be taken advantage of, which is, sometimes I've been trying to have that balance of having my boundaries, but also understanding that I think that people are inherently good, and that, or they have the capability for everybody has the capability of being good no matter how far gone they are, and that's why I like redemption arcs so much in movies. So, oh my God, you know what I was talking about? I was talking about imperfection. Okay. Well, you know what? This all related to imperfection, but exactly. I'm going to let this be imperfect. I'm going to let this section of the podcast be imperfect. I'm going to let this podcast be imperfect and be me. It's not a stream of consciousness because I want to talk about specific things. So what I'm trying to do, what made me think of this concept of imperfection was I was listening to Encanto, the soundtrack of the Disney movie, which is literally amazing. And I don't care if it's the Disney Corporation, because they make really good movies, or at least they have made good movies in the past. I am a bit afraid that they are falling off. I loved Encanto. I loved Moana. I'm afraid for Moana 2. I did not like Wish. So yeah. We'll see. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, I was listening to Encanto and I love the music. I really do, and I really connect a lot to it, and I love the beats. But one part that really that I was listening to was the sister with the flowers, Isabella, she makes the flowers. So she's singing her song, What Else Can I Do? And there's this part where she talks about, I kind of didn't really register this part of the song, because I think I was just yeah, she doesn't want to be, she doesn't have to be perfect, but I didn't really understand how that would relate to my life. I think that, when she's I just made something unexpected, something sharp, something new. It's not symmetrical or perfect, but it's beautiful and it's mine. What else can I do? And it's what can I do if I knew what I made didn't need to be perfect? It just needed to be, and they let me be. And it's So those are the, and it's like, it's sort of, I just kind of listened to the lyrics a bit more, and like I think that I know that that's probably what it was about the whole time, but like I didn't understand that, like, yeah, like I don't need to be what other people want me to be, and I don't have to like do like be more. I don't have to do things the way other people want me to do and be perfect and be pretty and be, like, oh my god. So I'm so sick of pretty. I want something true, don't you? It's like I would like to be true. I would like to be real. I would like to be raw, and I would like to be imperfect. I would like to make unexpected things, and I would like to, just just stop feeling like I'm not doing it well enough. I want to stop feeling like there's a right way to do things, and I want to just do it, and I want to do it the way I like doing it, and then if I like doing it another way, I can do that. I'm like so sick of like there being a standard, I guess, or in my head feeling like a standard. And like I feel like there's just, I don't have the audacity to do audacity. I feel like the difference between me, I think I've said this before, but the difference between me and other people doing stuff like this, podcasts, like making things, creative things, and doing it consistently, is audacity, and not the software. Fuck that software, to be honest with you. Fuck most softwares, to be honest with you, because I can't understand most softwares. But like, honestly, like it's the ability to believe in yourself enough that you can just make something, and to not be like, oh, everything I'm gonna make is gonna suck. It's just like, it's believing, having the gall, the gall or the audacity to believe that you are good enough to make something. And I think because I've had external experiences where people have scoffed at me for having the gall to do something, to make something different, to be different, to, do something that wasn't completely perfect, that wasn't to mess up, to, suddenly it was really bad and awful. And I think that being imperfect doesn't make you bad or awful. It doesn't make you like, it's just different, and and you can always improve, and you can always do things, and what you do isn't necessarily bad. There isn't necessarily one right way to do it. And I think I've been frustrated for a long time about that, and about just trying to do everything the right way, because I feel like other people expect me to do that. And I hope that there's nothing I can't do, like Mirabelle says to Isabella, like, I hope that, I hope that I can do cool things. And I know that I can, because I think because of this mindset that I'm trying to build, that I didn't have before. I think that I have thought for a long time that I am not good enough to do the things that I want to do, and it's like, that's not true, and I'm trying really hard to accept that. So LOUZR, I was really excited to do it first, because I was like, yes, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try as hard as I can. And then I didn't know how to do it, and then I felt like I wasn't good enough to keep doing it, because I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be, and I didn't know how to be, and I thought that I would never know how to be. And I, ever since, have been trying to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in the present, and I've been trying to pursue that. Anyway, it's gotten really real. Yeah, I don't really feel like talking about the rest of the things that I've learned from the specifics that I've learned from LOUZR, to be honest with you. Um, I kind of just want to get into talking about whatever I want with this podcast. So that's why I put seriously I'm so interesting for this title and not like a part 3, because I don't know if I want to continue like hyping on like harping on like, what LOUZR was, because I think I'm still feeling like it was a failure in total. I don't want to feel that way, but I do find myself feeling that way. With the interview process is that I really hate how inauthentic you have to be in it. At least that's how it feels. Like I feel like I do have to be perfect in the interview process, and I feel like I do have to. I know that I know we all have to put our best selves forward. I just feel like I have a hard time not being honest all the time. I mean, it's one of my worst faults. I'm so honest, like, about how I'm feeling. Like, I can't just be like, oh, I feel really confident in myself and I'm excited to do this thing. Sometimes I don't. Especially when I've felt so unsure what, like, in the past I felt so sure about what I wanted my future to look like, but now I feel like I'm so unsure. And that's really frustrating. Um, okay. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about, well, I mean, this is all about, my experience as someone who tried to make something and stuff was hard. Yeah, basically, I just kind of want to do my own thing. Like, I kind of want this to be the last, thing about LOUZR. I kind of want to start just being free and just making stuff on this podcast, like, and just like, I don't know, I have plans for like an ASMR episode, and I love ASMR. I'm a big fan, and I think what I'll do is I'll probably talk about all my favorite ASMR artists, and then I'll talk about what I like in ASMR and what I like about ASMR, and then maybe I'll like do ASMR, um like, and then I was thinking another one I could talk about musicals, and then do a musical episode where, like, I mean, I'll maybe sing a little bit, and that would be fun. I don't care if you think I'm a bad singer. I have fun, and again, I'm trying really hard to just do something because I like it, and not doing something because I feel like other people are going to like it. I feel like something that I lost sight of when I was trying to do LOUZR was like, I would look up all this stuff on how to like sell things, and I was like a salesman, and I was like trying to become one and learning how to market, and I was like, I just felt less and less into it because I just was like, I hate selling things to people. It just sucks. Especially myself, I hate selling myself to other people. Like, I just want to be at other people. I want to do the work. I don't think I like marketing. I want to do the work that people will like. I don't, and I want my audience to come from that. Like, I don't want to be trying to attract all audiences at once, or doing something that I feel like they'll like. I want to do something that I like. And I don't know what the quote unquote secret to doing whatever it is. Like, I thought I did. I thought that if I followed these certain people, or read these certain books, or listened to these certain people, I would know what the right thing to do was for this business I was trying to make. But in the end, like, I really don't. And in the end, like, maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe, like, what matters is I find a way to live where I can be creatively free. And, like, if you like watching it, if you out there are into listening to it, cool. But I really want to be like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and like, I really want to be like, I don't care what you think. I don't know, and I want to share because I feel like people can relate to what I'm going through. And I mean, it certainly feels good to talk about, and I hope that maybe this gives some catharsis or solace, and I want to talk about Switch games, and because I play a lot of Nintendo Switch now, and I want to talk about books, and I want to talk about, I don't know, like maybe D&D or something. I don't know. Like I just want to do whatever, and not worry about if people will like it or not. I am very inspired by my favorite creators on on YouTube are Ethan Nestor and Markiplier. But I love Ethan actually the most because Ethan is he makes me feel very seen. I haven't checked out his content in a while, but because I just have been doing other things, but he is my favorite because I can relate a lot to what he goes through and who he is as a person, and his struggle with creativity, and how he did this thing where he didn't upload for a bit, and it was because he was having a creative burnout, and so he made a second channel where he could just post whatever he wanted whenever he wanted, and it was less about the numbers. And I think that I don't know, just a lot of what he's done has really spoke to me as an artist too. And he also has ADHD, which is really cool. And I didn't know I had ADHD when I knew that he had ADHD, but it just really plus his soft boy brand really speaks to me, since I do identify as a soft boy. But the BOI, I really like the BOI. Actually, I have his mini figurine in my room, and I also have the box that said soft boy on it. I have a cutout of it that I made because I couldn't. I for a while I kept the box because the box was so nice for the. I had it's the Funko Pop. I have a Funko Pop, and I kept the box, but because it had this nice pattern on it, but I just ended up cutting it out and putting it on my bulletin board. I don't know, he just really inspires me. Anyway, so I want to talk about stuff like that. I don't know. I just kind of want to do a little bit of everything. I also just kind of want to choose what I want to do. And I want to move on from my past, and I want to move on from feeling so upset and angry at myself for not doing the right thing, quote unquote, during college, after college, not being enough, not, feeling like being upset at myself for leaning on other people while I'm trying to get back on my feet, feeling upset at myself for having a hard time finding a job, having a hard time finding full-time employment. I'm just so tired of constantly beating myself up and being you're not good enough because you exist in the way that you exist, and you're having a hard time doing that. I just, I don't know. Let me know if you guys have ever felt this way. It's rough out here. But I'm sick of feeling that way, and I want to just be real and be me, and and be more honest that yeah, if all of you saw my Instagram posts and all of you saw how, LOUZR was doing and me trying to make this thing happen, and you thought, man, they're doing so great, it wasn't. I mean, I had a lot of fun in a lot of ways, but also in a lot of other ways I was really not doing well. And you know what? To those of you who wished that I failed, congratulations. But all joking aside, I wish it didn't feel like I failed. I know that in doing it, I'm trying to instill in myself that in doing it, I did not fail, in that, and in doing it, I in fact succeeded because I did it at all, and my work that I did is out there, and or is going to be out there, and I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish. I mean, I built a website, you know, that was something I learned how to do. I figured out a lot of social media stuff. I learned a lot about how, you know, engagement works and tracking engagement. And, you know, I learned about how hard it is to fundraise. I learned about Kickstarter. I learned about, you know, people who will, I learned about festivals. I learned about how people will try to gouge you for everything that you're worth. I learned about how badly people often treat artists. I learned about how much people want to shortchange you. I learned about how much I wish that I knew more about what I was doing. I learned about people's egos. I learned about how if you don't have an ego as big as theirs, you can get shut out. I learned about true work-life balance. I learned about what a hobby was. My whole life, I kind of haven't had hobbies. Like, I have done things for the purpose of being in show business someday. Like, I've done things just for that, you know, and for work, and for looking forward to working my whole life. And suddenly it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then suddenly I found myself in the middle of the workforce, not knowing how it works, because I didn't put the time and energy and effort into learning how it works, or into thinking up what I would do, you know, if I didn't like if I came out not liking the industry. Because there's a difference between liking what it is that you do and not liking the industry in which you're doing it. I love theater. I love acting, I love directing, I love writing, I love movies. I love writing, I love acting, I love directing, you know, I love producing, I love it. But the industry is very different from that, and there are a lot of different options, and they're not stable. And I have learned that I am neurodivergent, that I have ADHD and potentially autism, and that I need routine, and I need focus, and I need stability, and I need pride in what I do. I need to be able to hold my head high and say, I earn this money myself. I feel really ashamed a lot for how much, sometimes I feel ashamed for how much people believed in me in doing LOUZR as a project. Sometimes I feel ashamed that people supported me financially. I feel ashamed for asking for their financial support. I feel ashamed that I got it in the first place, and knowing that a reason I got it was because of the privilege I was born with. And I feel like, and I don't feel pride from that, because I feel like I didn't earn it. It makes me feel like I didn't earn anything that I've ever done. Even though I have worked really hard for what I have done. I have. And I think for a long time I have been so afraid of admitting that I have had help on things, because I am so afraid that people will go, well, you didn't really do it because you had help. And to that I say, I definitely felt bad, and I definitely felt like people might say that to me, or people might think that about me. And to that I say, you know what? What if I did? What if I did have help? Having help is great. I love having help. People are so kind. People are so kind. And asking for help, there's no shame. There's never any shame in asking for help. That is something I'm proud to say that I have learned, that I've actually really, like a emotional lesson that I've really learned, is that asking for help is the bravest thing you can do. And not just like, and I'm not talking about like financial help, like I asked for that too, but I'm talking about like mental, emotional, you know, like physical, like all those things, you know, like help. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't ask for help. And if you feel like you need help, I implore you, please ask for help. There's no shame in it. I am learning to not feel shame for asking for help, and for not being as good as I thought I was. Yeah, it's not what I thought it was, and I'm not as good as I thought I was. But because of that, I can get better, and because of that, I can feel better. And I never thought I'd feel as good as I do today. You guys, I've been depressed and anxious. I've had depression and anxiety like pretty much my whole life, or at least for as long as I can remember. And this summer, I got more intense mental health care, and now I don't feel like everybody in the world is sad all the time. I don't feel like we're all meant to just grow up and die. I have a more positive perspective. I don't have a giant cloud around me anymore all the time. I'm not like it's not my sky, the clouds aren't my sky. A cloud comes every once in a while, but I am not the state of being of depressed. And that is, I never knew, if I didn't ask for help, if I didn't fall that far, I would never have known that things could feel so much better. That I could feel the full range of emotion, joy, sadness, love, fear, all those things. That I could feel all those things so much more sharply and lovingly and carefully, and that I wouldn't have to be afraid of feeling every emotion in the human experience. I used to be so afraid to feel any amount of negative emotion because I was afraid it would expand into more and more and more until I would suffocate from the weight. But now I know that I can feel those things and that I won't hurt from those things. Like that it won't be prolonged hurt and that it will fade in time. I can trust that. And I go on my street and I go on my walk during my day, and I look up at people in their homes, or I look across the street, or I see people at a restaurant or something, and instead of being like, these people are so sad about everything that's going on, everyone feels sad, I look at people and I'm like, no, people feel joy, people feel happy, people feel like they can make a difference in the world. People have people they love, people have things they love to do. People have hobbies, people smile, and there are really nice things in the world. I love crunching leaves. It's autumn right now, like fall, and crunching leaves is the best. Being in the sun is the best. I love the sun. The sun is the greatest. I just switched rooms with my roommate recently, and my room now has so much sun, and I guess I could have just said I moved. Well, whatever. My room has so much sun, and I have so many windows, and I feel cocooned in a curtain of light, and it feels so good to be alive when I'm in the sun. And I really hope that for everyone listening, that you can have experiences like that and not be afraid to feel the whole scale of human emotion, and being able to let those feelings pass and let those feelings go, and be able to feel moments where you feel true joy and you don't have to worry about anything else because the sun is so bright and warm, and I don't know, maybe a blanket is so soft on you, or maybe somebody is so kind and their smile is so radiant, that like those things that bother you can't reach you in those moments. And I think that's what living should be for, living should be for those moments. And you know what? This is the kind of thing, at first I was really criticizing myself for like going off topic, quote unquote, during this podcast and like going all around and saying all kinds of things, but it's like, I want to share. I want to share, damn it. I'm so sick of not sharing and not talking and not being honest and being so fake online and being so fake with like my Instagram and with my social media and with, being like, I'm supposed to say this, I'm supposed to portray this kind of confidence, I'm not confident right now a lot of the time, at least in my abilities, and you know what, I want to share that, I want to tell people that, I love talking, I love yapping, and I want to yap about how I'm doing, folks. So here's to being interesting. Because we're all interesting. And I'm so excited to go on this. I'm so excited for you to come on this little journey of me doing whatever I want. So I hope you've been convinced that I'm interesting. And I hope that you follow along for the rest of this time. Yeah. And I'm gonna do whatever I want now. Alright. Are you ready for the fun outro? I'm gonna sing a little outro now. Ready? Beep-a-doop-boop. This is the end of the podcast. La 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 la. And we're gonna have guests on the podcast, so just you wait. La 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 la. It's a podcast. This song is longer than I thought it would be, but it's the end of the podcast. La la la. Okay. La la. The end of the podcast.